let's get to this Monday night game. Boy, what a matchup of pretty good teams here. Chiefs against the Packers. Green Bay up to 7 with 66% of the early money coming in on the home field here. The Packers total about 48. There's plenty of talent on this Kansas City team, despite that 1-1 record. It's a balanced, safe West Coast offense, but it's very productive, especially with Jamal Charles and Alex Smith. But what a loss. They're coming off of 31-24. They had Denver down the whole entire game. 5 turnovers killed them. The fans in Kansas City and the players can't imagine how did we lose this game, and it was a big one too. So Harvard, how did they bounce back against one of the best teams in the NFC?
Well, let me give you a scenario. I believe history will repeat. And what do I mean?
A blowout.
Last Saturday, I gave out LSU for everybody that came to the jimfeist.com, purchased Harvard's play, and a 45-21 rout over Auburn. The very next day, I came up with a nice big 5.5, 6-point underdog on Dallas, and they won without the points, straight up 20-10. Then Monday night, what did I do? We put all that on the money line on the New York Jets, but we didn't do all the money there. We put 60% and we took the points, and then we put 40% on the money line, and it paid plus 230.
That's good money management.
The reason I'm bringing this up is, and I know you got a pen, I know you're writing this down, you're getting all of our games, I know that you have a pen and piece of paper, so write this down. Saturday, go to jimfeist.com, scroll down to Harvard and get my 10-star play. Sunday, come back, get the 10-star play, and then Monday, you don't even have to do anything. You don't have to purchase it, it's right here. I want you to take Kansas City on the money line. Green Bay, first of all, let me tell you a little something about Kansas City. Green Bay versus the run is number 23. So I think Jamal Charles is going to have a field day. I think Alex Smith, who can stay in the pocket, he can get out, he can also run. This guy can get you 30, 40, 50 yards. He can head fake you. His running ability outside the pocket will open up his tight ends. And he can also pass to the running backs. And Green Bay's defense, very, very young. I think they're going to give him fits. Also, I think you got Jeremy Maclin. He's going to start fitting into the mix. Travis Kelce, he's okay. And what had happened last the 2 weeks that Kansas City played, they beat Houston on the road, so we know they can win. And don't tell me that Houston is, they suck now. They didn't know they were going to suck the first week of the year. They thought they were going down there and have to play the best game because they're on the road and they're playing that ferocious defense led by J.J. Watt. Well, they went down there and won. They were way up with the Denver game, but 2 picks, 3 fumbles. Reed will have them ready. And on the opposite side, let's check the locker room report for Green Bay. I see this as a game with huge emotional letdown with Green Bay. The Packers, they're feeling good at 0-2. Not that they're wanting to lose or anything, but you know what? Their big game circled all year long was week 2 when Seattle was coming to town. They did exactly what they had to do. They beat Seattle. This is going to be a non-conference game. It's a letdown game. And one last thing. It's not about so much with Reed and Kansas City. It's about the chemistry. This team is in the top 3 in the NFL for chemistry and intensity. And I mean, every single player is buying into the system. They're buying into the coach. They're buying into each other. There's nothing except respect. And they work together so well, the chemistry and intensity for that team. They're not going to be bothered by this letdown. They've had 10 days to prepare for it. So I'm telling you right now, get that 10-star Saturday, 10-star Sunday, and then put it on this free play. Kansas City, 60% of the money should go at +7, and the other 40%, go ahead and you'll get about +230 on the money line.
Well, the situation certainly gives an edge to Kansas City. Big dog here, but they get the extra time to prepare, plus a well-coached team. On the other hand, this Green Bay team, boy, they're rolling. They went and played a division game on the road in week 1, beat Chicago 31-23. They came home with that revenge game against Seahawks, won by 10 points. They shut down Marshawn Lynch, who had just 41 yards on 15 carries. You look at Aaron Rodgers, since the start of last season, 44 touchdowns and 5 interceptions this guy has. Clearly the best in the game. So, Zach, Packers look kind of unstoppable right now.
Yeah, I mean, the NFL is really tricky to find a team that you can trust spread-wise on a week-to-week basis. Green Bay is one of those teams. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is at his peak performance, driving in, and I was listening to radio, and they were having a mini discussion on how quarterback controversies seem like a joke when you think about it a few years later. I mean, Colin Kaepernick, when Harbaugh sat down winning Alex Smith for Colin Kaepernick, there was a big upheaval there. And then you think about when Brett Favre just won the NFC Championship, or lost the NFC Championship with the Packers, and then they benched him for Aaron Rodgers. That was like 5 years ago, and look at him now. It's just crazy how things happen like this. But you look at Aaron Rodgers and this Green Bay team, they're coming off a statement win against a team that's had their number repeatedly in the Seattle Seahawks. Their confidence is sky high. And you got a Kansas City Chiefs team shaking off that loss. You got your star running back that fumbled away the game. You've got Alex Smith, game manager Alex Smith, that just couldn't get the job done. They didn't trust him to move the ball down the field. And they maximized their talents offensively this season. You see this time and time again with Andy Reid in his days with the Philadelphia Eagles, and even the last year with the Kansas City Chiefs. They hit that peak, especially on offense. You saw them kill the Dolphins last year early in the season, a couple other games, and then they just start going downhill with injuries and poor play calls and whatnot. So this is a time where I think Green Bay has so much momentum. Their young defense rose to the occasion and had 2 really good turnovers to win that game against Seattle when it looked like they weren't going to win, and it was 17-16, and all of a sudden you see the live wagering just shift completely on Seattle, and I'm like, oof, these people are going to lose their money, and sure enough they did. Green Bay came back, and it was all Aaron Rodgers. You see his improv plays, and it's like, how do you game plan this? One thing that I'll take away from that game is Green Bay, last year they used that back shoulder throw that was unstoppable with Jordy Nelson. He went out with the season. Now what do they have? They have that pick screen play. I mean, they use it 6 or 7 times, and it's unstoppable. And it'll be called an offensive pass interference if it's not timed perfectly. But Aaron Rodgers throws, it's almost like a point guard. He throws the ball before the receiver turns around. The other receiver's practically setting a pick, but just because the receiver is in motion, I don't know how you explain it, but he throws this thing perfectly that they don't call the offensive pass interference. The guy's catching the ball and running for 20 yards every single time. And time again, he just makes these improv plays that are unteachable from any defense, and I think it's going to frustrate Kansas City's defense. And Green Bay's the play. I mean, there's a lengthy review there, but I think Green Bay's the play. They just have so much momentum.
Did you see Rodgers' stats in that fourth quarter? 9 for 9 for 91 yards. I mean, perfect, but
do better than that.
I tell you what, how do you do better than that? Throw it 10 times?
Well, Kansas City is going to go ball control, and they're as good as anybody about doing that. My concern is, when you try that, and what if you get down 13-0 or 14-0 against a high up-tempo attack? And that's the concern I have with the Chiefs here, because if that happens, then you have to ask Alex Smith to get out of that style, to throw the ball more. He's a guy who does take sacks, and it could lead to more turnovers. So I just think it's a bad situation for Green Bay. I mean, for Kansas City, Green Bay has so many weapons that they're going to. Plus, at Lambeau Field, they're 33-16-2 against the spread. I can't go against that either, so I will have a small play toward the Packers in this one. All right, let's get to some best.
Well, let me ask Zach one question. When you were talking about the quarterback controversies, and they usually a year later, once you analyze it, it didn't pan out or something, but that goes against your argument with San Francisco when they kept Kaepernick and they traded away somebody that you thought was better, and he's the quarterback for my team this week, Alex Smith. So you're saying he was good enough to stay there, but not good enough to be on Kansas City. I think this guy he reminds me of how Joe Montana manages a football field. I mean, he doesn't, they might never throw it to a wide receiver for a touchdown, but they don't need to. This guy is a great little motivator and manager, and the way they run this out and the way they template this play, I'm telling you right now, don't worry about what these 2 guys, I know they win occasionally.
Which 2 guys?
You 2 guys, but I'm telling you right now, put Kansas City on the money line. They're going to win this game. You heard it here first.
And there,
I'm going to drop a bomb.
there it
in here.
goes.
Yeah. Here.
no, catch it.
We got
It
incoming.
worked this
Yeah.
time.
You know, Smith
might-
to
it
that
might
wide
go off.
receiver. Finally caught one.
And my point there was just a contrast of how their quarterback careers have went. You know, Alex Smith, he deserves to be a starter when you compare to the backups in the football league. But Aaron Rodgers is just, I mean, if you're watching what he's doing right now, it's getting to the unparalleled levels that, you know, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady had 2-3 years ago, Drew Brees. I think what he's doing right now is just unfathomable.
Well, let me tell you two other things about money management. First of all, when I talk about my 10-star plays, what we're talking about is a percentage of your bankroll. So if I have a 2-star, a 3-star, a 4-star, a 5-star play, what that means is you bet 2, 3, 4, 5% of your bankroll. So the most we would ever allocate for you on money management on a 10-star play is 10% of your bankroll. So you hear these guys with 50-star plays, a million-star plays. You know, I don't even think they know what they're doing. They're just throwing out the stars. And the other thing is, in the NFL, I've been doing this for 34 years, and I'm telling you right now, the sports books do not give away free money. What that means is, when you walk up and you're about ready to make a bet, when I go up to the window and I'm taking out my bankroll, if it makes me want to throw up to make this play, I'm on the right side. If it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy and I can't wait to call my friends and light it up with a little gathering with my buds and play Monday night with Green Bay -7, and I think, wow, you know, the sports books, I may as well just bring in a wheelbarrow with a snow shovel because they're giving away free money and I just go shovel it all in. It doesn't work that way. Kansas City plus the 7. That's how you bet the NFL. You got to have some guts, have some balls, and it's got to make you throw up to make the bet.
All right, and you can get a handicapper 3-pack from Zach, Jim Feist, and Harvard at the jimfeist.com site. That record is now 19-6 after going 2-1 yesterday. On Saturday, Harvard, you had Ole Miss in that play. That was an easy winner.
Easy
as a
winner.
dog.
Go into Crimson Country and tied it out. You know, beautiful. And you know what? I'm not a record keeper as far as our 3-0s and 3-0s and 3-0s and 19-6 and all that. But I think I'm correct. This year, last year, we've never had a losing week.
That's right. Yep.
2-1 or 3-0 every single week, correct?
Yep, that's right. And Zach, you had the Stanford in that, another underdog that won straight up. Nice call on that.
Thank you.
And Jim Feist also had Stanford as his revenge game of the year. That got the money. And here's two offers. One, if you want to get the rest of baseball and some bonus Thursday NFL from Jim, just call 1-888-672-0800. Also, you can get a free pick on a recorded message every day from Jim at 1-855-737-5367. And he's giving a bonus free NFL selection on the Sunday's card. You can get that by calling that number. All right, thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week with the Week 4 edition of Proline in the NFL. Good luck with the games, everyone, and we'll see you then.